we are going to discuss some special kinds of problems of linear programming which are solved through graphical techniques. Till now, we have learned how to give or how to make a mathematical model of a linear programming problem and how to solve them graphically. So in this class, we shall study some special kinds of problems and try to conclude a few important things related to the properties of linear programming problem. So the first thing that we are going to discuss here is about multiple optimal solution. It is possible in a given problem that there may be more than one optimal solution, and obviously each optimal solution will give the same value of the objective function. The solution to a linear programming problem will be unique if and only if the slope of the objective function, which is represented by the isoprofit lines, is different from the slope of the constants. In case the objective function has the same slope as that of the constant, then multiple optimal solutions might exist. So there are two conditions which are to be satisfied in order that a linear programming problem has multiple optimal solutions. Number one, the objective function should be parallel to a constant that forms an edge or boundary in the feasible region. And the second condition is the constant should form a boundary on the feasible region in the direction of optimal movement of the objective function. In other words, the constant must be a binding constant. Now, to explain this, we consider the following problem, which we shall try to solve graphically. The problem is maximize z is equal to 8x1 plus 16x2 subject to the restrictions x1 plus x2 is less than equal to 200, x2 is less than 125, 3x1 plus 6x2 is less than equal to 900, and x1 and x2 both greater than equal to 0. This is the non-negativity constant. So, like any other graphical solution which we have done so far, we first draw the line x1 plus x2 is equal to 200 for the first constant. So it is a very simple equation. When we put x1 is equal to 0, x2 will be 200, and x2 is equal to 0, x1 will be 200. So 0, 200 and 200, 0 are the 2 points, and these 2 points are marked on the x1 and x2 axis. So it is, first one is 200, 0, second point is 0, 200. So when we join these 2 points, so this line represents x1 plus x2 is equal to 200. I think this is clear to all of you. Now, x1 plus x2 is to be less than equal to 200. What does it mean? That any point above this line will be x1 plus x2 greater than 200. So, x1 plus x2 less than equal to 200, for this condition, the solution will exist always below this line or up to this line. As I have said earlier, that each line divides the plane first quadrant in two halves, upper half and lower half. So because the constant in equation is less than equal to type, so the solution will exist in the lower half of the line, lower half of the plane formed by this line. Second condition is x2 is equal to less than 125. So if we consider x2 is equal to 125, then this line, you know, x2 is equal to 125, but this line will be parallel to the x1 line, because any line parallel to x1 line will have equal value of x2. So x2 is equal to 125. This line is there, and here also, because it is less than 125, so the solution will exist below this line. Third condition is 3x1 plus 6x2 is less than equal to 900. So when we put x1 is equal to 0, x2 is equal to 150. So 0 and 150 is 1 point. When we put x2 is equal to 0, 3x1 is equal to 900. So x1 is equal to 300. So 300, 0 is another point. So when we plot these 2 points on the graph, this one 300, 0 and another is 150, 0 and 150. So these 2 points we join. So now we find the feasible region where all these 3 conditions are satisfied. So this is O, A, B, C, D. So the points are O, A, B, C and D. If you observe the graph minutely, you will find that the line BCE is going parallel to the isoprofit line shown by dotted line. So, as per the definition given earlier, there should be multiple solutions available to this problem. So, what we do? So, we have seen here that the feasible region is represented by the convex set O, A, B, C, D, and let us find out the coordinates of these points. So when we find out the coordinates of all these points, so you will find that point B and C both have the coordinates. Point B has coordinate of 50 and 125, and point C has coordinate of 100 and 100. So the objective function z is equal to a is x1 plus 16x2. So these are the point O, A, B, C, D, and x1, x2 values are given. So obviously at the origin, x1 and x2 both are 0, so z will be 0. At A, x1 is 0, x2 is equal to 125. So when we put at x as 0 and 16 into 125 is equal to 2000. At point B, A is 50, B is 125, So 8 is 15. 8 into 15 is 400. 125 into 16 equals 2400. This is 2400. At point C, both x1 and x2 are 100. So 100 into 8, 800, and 100 into 16, 1600, and 800, 2400. So this becomes 2400. So by mistake, maximum is written against A also, but no, the maximum value will be against point B and C. And at point D, x1 is equal to 200, B is equal to 0. So this becomes 800 into 2, 1600. So your maxima lies at point B and C. So you see that for two sets of values, x1 is equal to 0, x2 is equal to 125, and x1 is equal to 50, x2 is equal to 125, you get the same maximum value, same optima, but you get a different values of the variables. So here you have a choice. So this is the beauty of the linear programming problem, that you can get alternative solutions also for the same maximum value. So here you get some liberty that you can say make your product mix different if for any reason one say one mix does not suit you, then you go for another mix. So this is the beauty. So we have seen here that at 2 points the same maximum value occurs. This is why this is called an alternative solution, or maximum, or alternative, or say more than one number of optimal solution conditions of multiple optima. Now, in the next problem, we are going to discuss a case where there are two kinds of constants. Till now, we have seen that it is either less than type or greater than type. In the same problem, we do not have two kinds of constants. Now, we are going to discuss a problem in which there will be simultaneously greater than type and less than type, both kinds of inequality. So let us consider a problem. Minimize x is equal to 6x1 plus 14x2, subject to the condition 5x1 plus 4x2 is greater than or equal to 60. 3x1 plus 7x2 is less than or equal to 85. So see here now, earlier it was greater than or equal to 60. It has, in the second constant, it has become less than or equal to 84. And the third constant is again x1 plus 2x2 is greater than or equal to 18. Here also again it is greater than or equal to sign. And in all the cases, x1 plus x2, x1 and x2 will be greater than or equal to 0, because this is the condition of non-negativity. So because x1, x2 cannot be negative. So x1 and x2 either will have 0 value or greater than 0. Now you have all known how to draw a graph. So I will not spend much time here. I will explain only the first equation, 5x1 plus 4x2 greater than or equal to 60. So say x1 is equal to 0, then x2 is equal to 15. So 0 and 15 is 1 point. And when we put x2 is equal to 0, x1 becomes 12. So 12 and 0 becomes another point, and it is greater than or equal to 0. So on the graph, we draw 12 and 0, and another is this graph, 12 and 0, this is 1 point, and this is 15 and 0 and 15. Similarly, because this is greater than or equal to 0, so all the points will be above this. The solution will exist on the upper plane, means convex set generated on the upper side of the line represented by the equation 5x1 plus 4x2 is equal to 60. Similarly, if we draw second line, x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 18, and 3x1 plus 7x2 is equal to 84. So in the 3x1 plus 7x2 is equal to 84, it is less than it is 3x1 plus 7x2 is less than or equal to 84. So the solution will come below this. So one thing is below above this line, another is below this line, and third condition is x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 18. So we draw the line here, and here also again it is said it is greater than or equal to 18. So the solution will exist on the upper half of this line. So now you try to find out where all the three conditions are met. So these points are this D, this point say A, this point is B, and this point is C. So these are the 4 points A, B, C, D. So we have calculated the coordinates of A, B, C, D. You can see from the graph paper. If you actually draw the graph, you can find it. So A, B, C, D, all the 4 points, and these are the coordinates. For A, it is 8 and 5, 84 by 23 and 240 by 23 for B. Similarly, 28 and 04 point C and 18 and 04 point D. And we calculate the Z, which is 6x1 plus 14x2. So minimum value is against point D. D here, so which corresponds to x1 is equal to 18 and x2 is equal to 0. So this is the minimum value. So this minimization problem had two different kind of constants, one greater than equal to and another less than equal to. So both the conditions have been satisfied here, and we have got the minimum value. So through graphical solution, it is also possible to say deal with different kinds of inequalities. Now we are going to extend our discussion to some very special conditions where you will find that the solution to a linear programming problem is not possible at all. You know that the solution of a linear programming problem is feasible only when it is able to satisfy all the constraints and non-negativity constraints also. Sometimes it may be possible that the constraints are inconsistent, so that you do not get any feasible solution to the problem. Such a situation is called infeasibility. In the graphic approach to the solution to a linear programming problem, the infeasibility is evident if its feasible region is empty, so that you do not get any such region where all the constraints are satisfied. So let us consider the following example. Say maximize z is equal to 20x1 plus 30x2, subject to the condition 2x1 plus x2 is less than or equal to 40, 4x1 minus x2 is less than or equal to 20, x1 is greater than or equal to 30, x1, x2 both greater than or equal to 0. That is the condition of non-negativity, which the variables cannot assume a negative value. So we draw the graph. So say the first graph. So when we draw the graph of 2x1 plus x2 is less than or equal to 40, so this is the line, and this is less than or equal to 40 means the solution will come below this line. Or x1 minus x2 is less than or equal to 20, this is the line, and this is less than or equal to 20, so the solution will be here. And third is x1 is greater than or equal to 30, x1 is greater than or equal to 30 means the solution will be here. So you see one feasible region is here, another feasible region here. So there is no feasible region where all the three constraints are satisfied. This is why you cannot find a common region where all the three conditions are, all the three constant equations are satisfied. This is why this is a linear programming problem for which you cannot find any solution. This is why this is called a case of infeasibility. Now let us consider another linear programming problem. Maximize z equal to 10x1 plus 20x2 subject to the condition 2x1 plus 4x2 is greater than equal to 16, x1 plus 5x2 is greater than equal to 15, x1, x2 both greater than equal to 0. So when we draw the graph, you see x1 plus 5x2 is 15 and this is greater than equal to 16. So the solution will be above this line. 2x1 plus 4x2 is 16. Solution will be above this line. Now, had this been a minimization problem, so you could have found 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here. But now this is a question of maximization. So the feasible region is widely spread anywhere beyond this. So you can continue to increase the value of x1 and x2 as per your wish, and your objective value or objective function will go on increasing. So there is no fixed value, and this is a case of unboundedness. Means the solution is unbounded. You can get multiple solutions and there is no limit to the maximum value of the objective function. So when the feasible region is widely spread and there is no single point where you can get the maximum value, we call it a case of unboundedness. I think I am clear. So what is the difference between infeasibility and unboundedness? Both have a similarity in the sense that there is no optimal solution in either case. Infeasible solution means there is no solution. Unboundedness means there is no single solution. But there is a striking difference that while in feasibility, there is not even a single feasible solution. But in boundedness, you find that there are infinite number of feasible solutions, but none of them can be termed as the optimal solution. Now we conclude our graphical method of solutions with, say, summarizing the facts that what are the advantages of linear programming. So this technique helps in making the optimum utilization of resources. It indicates how a decision maker can employ his productive factors most effectively. Quality of decisions may also be improved by LP techniques because the user becomes more objective and less subjective. So he is able to get a better solution to which otherwise worse solutions are available. This was one of the definitions of linear programming problem. You have seen the condition of unboundedness and infeasibility. So you know the bottlenecks in the process. So highlighting the bottlenecks in the production process and management problems, it gives a clear picture of management problems, and it gives a practically applicable solutions. So these are the advantages, but there are certain limitations of linear programming model also, that in real life you will very rarely get objective function and constants as linear functions. In the actual solution of linear programming problem, you will find that fractional values of decision variables are allowed. But in practice, this may not be possible. For example, you can say that you require 2.5 manpower or 2.5 buses, but practically this is not possible. Third case is that in most of the practical situations, the decision parameters, means coefficients of objective functions and constants, are not known with certainty and they are not constant over a certain period of time. Parameters vary with time. So this is another big limitation of linear programming model. Really speaking, many real world problems are complex in nature and they cannot be solved by linear programming technique. Linear programming deals generally with single objective, whereas real life problems may have multiple objectives. So these are certain limitations of linear programming problem. But now you have all got a fairly good idea of modeling of linear programming problem and their solution by graphical method. So this is the end of our session, unit 1. Now we go to the simplex technique in the next class. Thank you.